Hello, you're watching A News Morning from Baku. I'm Bakhtiar Sanov, and here are the top stories. Preliminary investigation confirms Russian missile over Grozny caused Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash near Aktau. Russia might use a Reshnik hypersonic ballistic missile system again, Vladimir Putin warns. Peru declares environmental emergency after oil spill in Pacific Ocean. A News has learned exclusive information from government sources concerning the causes of the crash of Azerbaijani aircraft in Aktau, Kazakhstan, which resulted in death of 38 people.
The preliminary results of the investigation revealed that an Azerbaijani Airlines plane traveling on the Baku-Grozny route was attacked on its approach to the city of Grozny by the Russian Pantsir S air defense system. Moreover, as a result of the use of electronic warfare systems by the Russian side, the communication system of the Azerbaijani aircraft was completely paralyzed. It was with this circumstance that the plane disappeared from radars in the Russian airspace and was restored only in the area of the Caspian Sea. It should be noted that according to Russian sources, at the time of the flight over the territory of Chechnya, Russian air defense forces tried to shoot down Ukrainian UAVs. Thus, the head of the Security Council of the Chechen Republic, Kamzat Kadyrov, confirmed the fact of a drone attack on Grozny on the morning of December 25th, noting that there were no casualties or damage. In such a case, the Russian side was obliged to close its airspace to civilian aircraft, which, however, was not done. As is known, the airport in Grozny did not give permission for the plane to land. Moreover, our flight was also not given permission to land at the airports in Makhachkala and Mineralny Vody. The disoriented crew of the flight, which was subjected to air defense fire and electronic warfare systems, was recommended to land in the Kazakh city of Aktau. Presumably, this recommendation was given for one purpose: for the plane to fall into the Caspian Sea. All witnesses would be killed, and the plane would sink. The alternative versions that are being circulated in the Russian media are purposeful innuendo to mislead public opinion. Video footage from the cabin of the plane shows that 2 passengers were injured by shrapnel. All testimonies, including those concerning explosions heard overboard, point to the work of air defenses. For the Azerbaijani side, the situation is absolutely obvious. No one claims that it was done purposefully. However, taking into account the established facts, Baku expects the Russian side to confess to the shooting down of the Azerbaijani aircraft and to conduct a full investigation, which will result in bringing to justice all those responsible.
14 Azerbaijani citizens, including 1 child, injured in the crash of an Azerbaijani Airlines plane in Kazakhstan, were transported from Aktau to Baku on 2 planes, along with the bodies of the deceased passengers. The passengers in critical condition were delivered by an amphibian aircraft of the Ministry of Emergency Situations. 7 of the injured passengers were hospitalized immediately upon landing. Azerbaijan Airlines will pay compensation to each injured passenger and to the families of those who died in the crash. All passengers will also receive insurance payments in accordance with Azerbaijani law and international standards. The deadly plane crash near Aktau has sparked an outpouring of support, with consuls and locals visiting the Consulate General of Azerbaijan to honor the victims.
The Consuls General of Turkey, Uzbekistan and Iran arrived at the Consulate General of Azerbaijan in Aktau to express their condolences and support after the tragic crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines Embraer 190. They signed the book of condolences and held a minute of silence in memory of the victims.
A tragic accident occurred yesterday. The plane flying from Baku to Grozny attempted to make an emergency landing, but this landing did not take place. As a result, a tragedy occurred, and many of our citizens died. As the Consulate General, after we received information about the incident, we began to fulfill our duties. I went to the scene, and our employees went to the hospital. Our employees were interested in the condition of our citizens. There were 67 people on the plane, and 38 of them died. Of these 38, 26 were Azerbaijani citizens. Of the 16 surviving citizens, 12 are in good condition.
Residents of Aktau, in a sign of grief over the plane crash, continue to bring flowers to the Consulate General of Azerbaijan in Kazakhstan.
These are all our fellow countrymen. Of course it hurts a lot. May they rest in peace.
We came to honor the memory of the deceased, and we wish the victims a speedy recovery. We work directly with the consulate, so we came to honor the memory and to fulfill our duty.
The tragic crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines Embraer 190 occurred on December 25th near Aktau, Kazakhstan. Out of 67 passengers, 38 people died and 29 survived.
Leaders from around the world have expressed their condolences following the tragic crash of an Azerbaijani passenger plane in Aktau. Among them, officials from Turkey, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, as well as the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif conveyed their condolences and sympathies to the victims of the crash and their families. Russian President Vladimir Putin also expressed his condolences and spoke on the phone with President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev. President of Kyrgyzstan Sadir Japarov shared his sorrow and wished a speedy recovery to all those affected by the tragedy. Xi Jinping, the President of the People's Republic of China, also extended his condolences. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan was also among the leaders who expressed their sympathies. Romania's and Georgia's foreign ministers have also sent heartfelt condolences. NATO has also called for a full investigation into the cause of the Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash. NATO spokesperson conveyed their thoughts and prayers for the victims, adding that they wish a speedy recovery for those injured. Kazakhstan's transport prosecutor stated that the investigation has yet to reach any conclusions, while Deputy Prime Minister declined to confirm or deny reports suggesting Russian air defenses were involved in the crash. Azerbaijan Airlines flight crash near Aktau has sparked intense speculation, with media reports hinting to a possible missile strike as the cause. As authorities investigate, a range of theories, including a bird strike and a potential air defense missile hit, have emerged. Azerbaijan Airlines, along with authorities in Kazakhstan, Russia and Azerbaijan, is working to determine the exact cause of the crash.
The crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines flight near Aktau, Kazakhstan on Wednesday has sparked intense media coverage and speculation about the cause of the disaster. Al Jazeera stated that preliminary information suggested the plane requested to land at an alternative airport due to heavy fog in Grozny before the crash. TRT World reported that flight radar data showed the plane deviating from its planned route, crossing the Caspian Sea before circling the area where it ultimately crashed near Aktau. France 24 wrote that Flight Radar 24 data showed the plane making a figure 8 near Aktau, with significant altitude fluctuations before crashing. The site also noted strong GPS jamming causing inaccurate flight data. Euronews referred to information from A News international news channel based in Azerbaijan, citing that, according to preliminary investigation results, Russian surface-to-air missile caused the Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash in Aktau on Wednesday. Media outlet added that the missile was fired from a Pantsir-S air defense system. Reuters reported, citing A News, that preliminary results indicated the plane was struck by a Russian Pantsir-S air defense system. The Guardian stated that Kazakhstan's main transport prosecutor, Timur Suleymanov, confirmed in a briefing in Astana that the plane's black box containing critical flight data for investigating the cause of the crash had been recovered. CNN mentioned that 29 survivors were pulled from the wreckage, including many in critical condition. It reported that while the cause of the plane's detour across the Caspian Sea remains unclear, the crash followed drone strikes in southern Russia, which had led to airport closures, including the nearest Russian airport. ABC News detailed how extensive rescue operations were underway, with Kazakhstan sending medical teams to assist the injured. BBC tells a human story of a woman heading for the holidays died in the crash, while a mother carrying medical tests for her sick child is still missing. A young woman seeking news of her father on the flight learned that her brother survived, but their father remains unaccounted for.
The BBC also cited on A News reporting about preliminary investigation that the plane was hit from a surface-to-air missile. As harrowing details emerge of the last moments of Azerbaijani Airlines Flight 8243, the flight crew who did their best to save the passengers until the last moment are being hailed as heroes, Euronews reports. The pilots displayed remarkable airmanship according to experts as they managed to fly the stricken plane across the Caspian Sea and crash landing just 3 kilometers short of the Aktau airport runway. Captain, co-pilot and purser lost their lives in the crash landing, while the other 2 flight attendants reportedly survived and were being treated in hospital. Japan Airlines said on Thursday its systems returned to normal, with same-day ticket sales resuming after a cyber attack delayed some domestic and international flights. The attack began at 7:24 a.m., affecting internal and external systems, Japan Airlines said earlier. It temporarily shut down a rotor that was causing malfunctions and suspended ticket sales for flights departing on Thursday. No customer information was leaked, the company said, and it suffered no damage from computer viruses. ANA Holdings, Japan's other major air carrier, saw no signs of an attack on its systems, a spokesperson said. American Airlines grounded all flights for an hour this week, disrupting travel for thousands on Christmas Eve due to a technical glitch involving network hardware. A government-commissioned panel of experts has largely supported Japan's new energy policy for the next few years that calls for bolstering renewables up to half of electricity needs by 2040, while maximizing the use of nuclear power as the country seeks to accommodate the growing power demand in the era of AI while meeting decarbonization targets. The Industry Ministry of Japan presented the draft plan for the final review by the panel of 16 mostly pro-nuclear members from business, academia, and civil groups. It calls for maximizing the use of nuclear energy, reversing a phase-out policy adopted after the meltdown crisis at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant in 2011 that led to extensive displacement of residents and lingering anti-nuclear sentiment. The plan is due to receive cabinet approval by March after a period of consultation and will then replace the current energy policy, which dates from 2021. The new proposal says nuclear energy should account for 20% of Japan's energy supply in 2040, up from just 8.5% last year, while expanding renewables to 40 to 50% from 23% and reducing coal-fired power to 30 to 40% from nearly 70% last year. Despite criticisms and skepticism about its feasibility, Japan still sticks to its pursuit of developing advanced reactors and a struggling spent fuel reprocessing program to achieve a complete nuclear fuel cycle. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made a significant statement regarding the nation's military capabilities. Putin confirmed that Russia is prepared to deploy more powerful medium-range weapons if deemed necessary. He specifically mentioned the possibility of using Oreshnik medium-range ballistic missile systems, which are part of Russia's growing strategic defense plans. Putin also revealed plans to station some of these systems in Belarus, further intensifying regional tensions. Earlier in discussions with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, Putin noted that this deployment could happen as early as the second half of 2025. 33 people have been killed and 15 others left injured in a prison riot in Mozambique's capital, Maputo. The riot is believed to be encouraged by the nationwide protest of the opposition groups. Protests broke out after the election victory of the Frelimo party, soon after the prison riot started. The country's police general commander blames protests outside the prison for encouraging the riot, while the justice minister says incidents were not related. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is calling on Mozambique's political leaders to de-escalate the ongoing tensions linked to the country's October elections. Speaking at a briefing on Thursday, Guterres' associate spokesperson Stephanie Tremblay says the UN chief is concerned about the post-election violence, which has resulted in loss of lives. The new wave of nationwide protests follow a decision by Mozambique's top court on Monday, confirming the long-ruling party Frelimo's victory in the election. Peru declared an environmental emergency after a major oil spill by Petroperú impacted northern coastal beaches. The spill has caused significant damage to wildlife and local communities.
Peru's government declared an environmental emergency after a crude oil spill from state-owned Petroperú affected beaches along the northern coast. The spill occurred on December 21 during pre-shipment operations at the Talara refinery. Minister of Environment Juan Carlos Castro announced the emergency for 7 beaches in the Talara and Lobitos area with a 90-day cleanup plan.
We declare an environmental emergency in the areas covering the geographical scope of 7 beaches in the provinces Talara and Lobitos. This is what we wanted to inform you about. The action taken with this emergency declaration, lasting for 90 working days, during which all affected areas by the hydrocarbon spill will need to be remedied and attended to.
The spill, which affected at least 10,000 square meters of sea and shoreline, has harmed local wildlife, including crabs and baby turtles, while fishermen report being unable to work due to contamination. We will have a lack of tourism in Lobitos. We will have a lack of tourism due to this contamination. We ask the responsible authorities to take action. Petroperú has yet to disclose the volume of oil spilled, but the government is focused on mitigating the damage and restoring the environment.
Turkey's tea harvest has been reshaped by climate change, with farmers in the eastern Black Sea region now picking fresh tea into December. Warmer temperatures are extending the harvest season and redefining the country's agricultural calendar.
For the first time in Turkey's history, the tea harvest in the eastern Black Sea region has been extended into December. This shift is a direct result of rising temperatures and climate change. The Hurriyet Daily News reported that warmer than usual seasonal temperatures have prolonged the harvest period. Tea production is thriving in provinces of Rize, Trabzon, Artvin, and Giresun, where nearly 1 million families cultivate tea across 830,000 hectares of land. In Rize, known as Turkey's capital of tea, high-quality harvests are still underway, a trend attributed to the warm weather and the ongoing climate crisis. Rize accounts for 65.6% of Turkey's dry tea production. In previous years, the tea harvest would typically conclude by October. A 2023 report from Turkey's Food Engineers Chamber highlighted the country's position in the global tea industry. 7th in cultivation area, 5th in dry tea production, and 4th in per capita annual tea consumption. This unprecedented extension of the harvest season underscores the growing impact of climate change on agriculture. It presents both challenges and opportunities for Turkey's tea industry.
That's all we have for this hour. You can also get latest news and headlines around the clock on our website, that is anews.tv. Thank you for watching, and also we wish you a good day ahead.